If it's not good health care, and it's a carrot, I'll clear this nugget right up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And this is your Nightque on this, gosh, I can't remember what day of the week it is. It's actually Friday, but it won't take very long. And it is Nightque, but it's a nugget on Nightque for you that I have to share. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So what you'll have for me might be revealing, or it may not be stunning at all. It might be, well, shucks, we knew that from the beginning. And I've been known to say on the show that the conspiracy theorists, they look pretty good. They're looking pretty good these days. And shout out to Ronnie Mann. He even maybe referred to them as prophetic. So we're going to just do a couple of infomercials, and I'll be right back right after this. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. Hi, everybody, and thanks so much for tuning in to this 11th hour Nightque. And I do have what I find a nugget, maybe a nugget of truth, a nugget of reveal, a nugget of, I might say, giving up the con, but no less, it's a nugget. So I want to say hi to everybody in the stream very quickly, as this will be very short. Hello to Lynn Pila, the Information Man Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming in. And Ronnie Mann, as well as Britt's Worship Channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this. It's going to be the briefest Nightque ever. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen this particular piece. I know many of us, we tend to look for alternatives that don't parrot the partisan talking points, or we don't follow those narratives so much. We tend to look for more facts and as much unbiased information as we can. But what happens when that information, when the beans are somewhat spilled? So I want you to have a look at this clip that I have for you. And it comes from yours truly, CNN, and their guest. So thank you guys so much. Thanks so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn.
My main concern is that we're not going to reach herd immunity because of vaccine hesitancy. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe who desperately want the vaccine right now. And they're thinking, oh, well, it's just a small percentage of people who are actually anti-vaxxers. And that's true. There is the anti-science, anti-vaxxer contingent. But I think that there are many more people, millions of people, who, for whatever reason, have concerns about the vaccine, who just don't know what's in it for them. And we need to make it clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket get back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing. I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine? So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have. Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway. And I fear a situation of coming into the fall where we never reach herd immunity. And then we get hit by the next surge of COVID-19 in the fall, something that we could have prevented if we just got people vaccinated now.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this Nightque segment with Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, I don't know about you. Maybe you've seen this clip, maybe you haven't, but I think it's a bit of. I think she put it pretty plainly that I guess you need. It's a little bit to me, a little bit borderline Pavlovian that you need a carrot to return to normal life, and you in order to regain some level of freedom, you need to be mocktailed. But I'm not sure if some people will think maybe this is absolutely fine, what she's saying, and that they're gonna just they're still living under the umbrella or under the fear. I think the media has done pretty great job on wigging people out, and they may not quite see it as the carrot. You got to get the only way back is a mocktail. But those of us who are those that are of us that are freedom lovers, and those of us that are conscious and aware of natural freedoms that cannot be granted or cannot be necessarily taken away by government agencies, we tend to have a problem with a carrot being dangled in our face, and it's pretty insulting. But I think another important thing to take away from this is that she says herself, this is Dr. Lena Wynn, that we have that the window for them to tie reopening policy to the mocktail is very short. It's very small. So I'm thinking that I'm not sure if there's a little bit of defeat in there, that they see that they're not quite going to win this because many states have already started reopening. I'm not sure, but I just think it's quite interesting the way that she, I think she kind of gave up the con, which you rarely see that. You rarely see those. If you go with, shout out to TDOA, if you go with the left-right paradigm, you rarely see them giving up the con, which, maybe I spoke too soon. I think even the current regime, they give up the con pretty regularly when they make comments. They tell you what they're doing. They tell you exactly what you need to know. So I think she was doing that in this with this interview with Chris Cuomo. So I don't know what you guys think, but I think I don't know. What do you guys think about that carrot? You need a carrot, because otherwise, nobody's going to go for the mocktail. I don't know. I think they underestimate people, and well, I will say that they underestimate what they consider the deplorables, and even some deplorables with I guess what they call a little bit of melanin in their skin. They underestimate those as well. So I don't know what you guys think about all of this, but if you've seen this particular clip, then let me know what you think about it. But I also want to take another opportunity on this segment to read a couple of comments from a question that was on our community tab. And also I want to say hello again to people that are just joining us in the stream. Hello from Spoon Chopstick. Are you from Periscope or Twitter? I don't know. As I know that we're on today's the 2nd of April, and I think that I thought that was actually shut down. So who knows? Let's see what happens there. Hello to Spoon Chopstick and J Dog One Party RE. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm gonna read a comment here from Ronnie Mann. Really appreciate it. He says the inoculant is good for 6 months. How is that considered a V word? V words are permanent. Have we changed the definition of what a V word is? Hmm. Ronnie man, you're always stimulating in the chat, and you're always gold standard in as a stripe around here. I really appreciate that. So yeah, I just thought this was it's an interesting little nugget. And let's see, I'm just thinking the thing about it is all you have to do is sometimes you just have to sit back and wait, because they'll eventually either somebody from that ilk, if you will either put their foot in their mouth, or they'll just totally give up. They'll totally give up the con. But unfortunately, I think uh, we have quite a few people that wouldn't pick up what she's putting down. So I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain it, to some of those that are not quite picking it up. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And let's go over. We're going to go over very quickly to. I want to read a couple comments from our community tab. And I did tell you guys that we were going to be doing something with a little bit more engagement on the show. And I invited you initially via email, but it doesn't matter. Communication is communication, and engagement is engagement. So we're going to look at a couple of responses to our community tab question. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And if you haven't had an opportunity to hit the like button or the dislike button, or even dare to share out the stream, this is as good a time as any to help us out with our campaign to keep us going and help us feed the AI around here. And also, just a quick note. It's also interesting that this particular character, I'm going back to our nugget here. It's interesting that this Dr. Lena Wynn is also a former uh, president of the of Planned Parenthood. She's a former president of Planned Parenthood. I want to make sure I get that title right. I think she had a bit of a short-lived career. Yeah, well, she was the head of Planned Parenthood. She's a former, or now the former CEO. I think she had a bit of controversy, or that kind of got her, that she kind of walked away from that role. So the dig here is that when she's not convincing you that abortion is good health care, she's convincing you that she will convince those that there's a herd immunity that will be reached, and that there's a carrot that's necessary to get us there. So I found that to be also a bit of an interesting character. It just seems like we're on a really dark path, or really dark wheel, where it seems like all roads are leading to the similar agenda, if not the same. It's a very similar agenda, or at least a very advantageous kind of a path. Yeah, but the end is the same. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Information Man. So Information Man Show says no problem. All right. So I'm going to let me go back over to the community tab. I'm sorry for digressing there, but I had to bring that out because I think she has an interesting career track, and you got plenty of people that will listen to, they will, they'll eat up whatever she delivers, because I think many of these people, unfortunately, they're trained. They are trained with some level of psychology to convince people that to do what they want them to do. Unfortunately, you have what some people might call them sheep, and yeah, that's unfortunate. But it works. It works on some people. And bingo, Alien Believer says agenda of population deduction. Hello to you, Alien Believers. Thank you so much for coming in. So, thank you so much. Yes, and that is exactly what I was saying. All roads seem to be leading to this depopulation um, agenda. And to me, they don't care what stops. They have to pull out. I think the Hollywood degenerates are going to be ascending soon if they're not already via commercials or we've seen everything. What else will we see? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So, yes, we're going to go very briefly over to our question from the community tab was, what is the most imminent threat to the current, quote, republic, end quote, in the H.R. 1, quote, for the People Act, end quote. And there I asked that you tell us in your own words, or of course you can send those responses with some consent, to share. I don't assume anything on this platform, so that's why I ask. But in this case, I'm going to assume that it is okay because it's already been posted, and I want to read these comments or read the responses from. I have two responses, and I want to thank those two um, for participating in the conversation and responding. So thank you guys so much. So I'm going to go with the first response that comes from our loyal supporter and Stripe, Derek C. Williams. So shout out to you, Derek C. Williams. I'm going to read your response here. Derek C. Williams says the entire bill is the most imminent threat, in my view. Anything coming from, quote, the District of Criminals, end quote, is an imminent threat. I thank you very much, Derek C. Williams, for participating and for your perception on this legislation. I do believe I'm not sure where it is right now, what the status of this bill is, but until it's passed by the Senate and so forth, of course, it's just a bill. And we won't go schoolhouse rock on this, but we'll keep going. And my second comment comes from Awesome Alice, who's always awesome. Thank you so much, Awesome Alice. She says the whole bill needs to be thrown out. These policies aren't by the Constitution. It's based on a power grab and control. I want to thank you very much, Awesome Alice, for participating and for all that you bring to our channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. I have somebody else here. I have Wid GFT. Hi from Paris. Bonjour. I don't know what time it is there. But thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And who else do we have? Ronnie Man. Ronnie Man says Planned Parenthood. Well, no wonder. Now her position makes much more sense. Ronnie Man, you said it. You said it. And Information Man Show says, okay, keep going. Thank you so much, Information Man Show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And so we had two comments from one of our stripes and supporters, as well as, and look who's here. We have Awesome Alice. Awesome Alice is in the house. Awesome Alice, my friend, were your ears burning? Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe for lack of a better word, is that an old wives' tale? When I say that your ears are burning or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's a down home kind of a bit. But thank you so much for coming in. And we just read your comment on our question from the community tab. I really appreciate it. And yes, so I may have one other story. I did say was going to get us in and out, but before I do that, I'm going to give us I'm gonna give us a little bit of we're gonna have a little bit of Twitch on a roll, and yeah, we'll be right back. And just before that, Awesome Alice says, "I've been trolling the left today. Very good, very good." Oh, should let us see the damage when we're available. We appreciate it. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Right after this. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Nightque. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much, Awesome Alice, for coming in. In fact, I just saw I see something that Awesome Alice is inquiring about here. She says, I've seen the guy in Virginia where his skin came off because of the jab. I have seen that, and I'm going to indulge in that in just a second. I wasn't going to, but because I missed, I was going to do it yesterday, but I didn't get it done. And Alien Believer says, next, I want to help. And Alien Believers says, yes, Alice saw that one too. And Awesome Alice says, that's crazy. They say a condition called, the CV arm too. Yikes. That was pretty gross. But what I'm going to show you, I'm going to share a story here, and it's going to come from, we're going to take this one from the Jerusalem Post. All right. And let's see. I'm going to share that one with you just 1 second. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it and all your patience. So we're going to share this screen with you. You guys have a way of making me go the extra mile around here. All right. So according to this, okay, this is coming out of the Jerusalem Post, that Johnson & Johnson, the CV-19 mocktail causes man's skin to peel off. Upon getting to the hospital, Richard Terrell was told by doctors that he had experienced a severe reaction to the mocktail. Okay, this is by the Jerusalem Post staff. All right, so we'll keep going here. All right, now here it says a rare reaction to Johnson & Johnson's CV mocktail occurred when a Virginia man's skin peeled off. According to the news station WRIC on Tuesday, the man who experienced a severe reaction, Richard Terrell, 74, of Goochland County, Virginia, said that 4 days after receiving the mocktail, he began to develop a painful rash. Now, just 1 second here, guys. Okay. He began to develop a painful rash. Hang on a second there, guys. Sorry about that. Painful rash that was later found throughout his body. In a statement to WRIC, Terrell said that, quote, I began to feel a little discomfort in my armpit, and then a few days later, I began to get an itchy rash, and then after that, I began to swell and my skin turned red, unquote. Quote, it all just happened so fast. My skin peeled off. It was stinging, burning, and itching. Whenever I bent my arms or legs, like the inside of my knee, it was very painful where the skin was swollen and was rubbing against itself, end quote. Terrell noted to WRIC. Upon getting to the hospital, Terrell was told by doctors that he had experienced a severe reaction to the mocktail. Quote, we ruled out all the viral infections. We ruled out the CV-19 itself. We made sure that his kidneys and liver was okay. And finally, we came to the conclusion that it was the mocktail that he had received that was the cause, end quote, said Dr. Newton, one of the doctors treating Terrell, in a statement to WRIC. Quote, skin is the largest organ in the body, and when it is inflamed, like his was, you can lose a lot of fluids and electrolytes, end quote, Newton added. Despite Terrell's reaction, Newton reiterated that the mocktail is safe. Yeah, so I think it's a little bit interesting there, and also I'm going to quote David Webb again, who said that a skin is it's basically an organ, and it cannot articulate or develop ideas. Now that's me paraphrasing on that, but after all, the mocktail is safe. So I don't know. Maybe he reported his event to the VAERS, because we looked at a couple of cases from VAERS the other day, and we found people from all over, of different age groups and different age groups, different states, different demographics, that had suffered, that there were fatalities, and we'll see if that actually reaches. I don't know. There's plenty of documentation. I think there's plenty of pictures. Let's see if I can find one for you. This one didn't quite include that. I'll see if I can't grab one for you on this Nightque. I always have nuggets from Nightque. Really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. It was kind of, you might have to have a strong stomach because it looked pretty inflamed. It looked to me, it almost looked like burns. So let's see. So are they calling it the CV arm? Is that correct, Awesome Alice? Let's see. Virginia, it's a Virginia man. Alrighty. So I think I might have something here for you. I didn't say it was going to be pretty, but I might have something here for you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn on the Nightque. I think we talked about this once before, Awesome Alice. You talked about perhaps the PEG, maybe that the PEG ingredient, maybe people are reacting to that. This looks pretty toxic to me, so I don't know. Let's do a little bit of a trying to do a rough job. But check out the VAERS to see if you see If you see this, if you find an event like this or others being reported, okay, so I'm going to show it to you right now. We'll just go with the back for now. Let's see. I'm going to try to share this one. It's like the New York Post had it as well, so we'll go with that one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate you guys for coming in at the 11th hour here. And hang on just one second. And you said that, yeah, I'm going in there right now. I think I have some images for you from the New York Post on that. I saw some that were really intense. I think I was able to see like some other extremities on the I don't remember where I saw that. Um Yikes, 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 yikes. Okay. Well, actually we have another one. This is a woman. We have another one from New York Post in which a woman suffers an agonizing rash after the Oxford AstraZeneca CV mocktail. Now, this actually looks similar to the guy, but his was, I think pretty bad on his extremities. But you can see this on her face, and this is her name. This person, her name is Lee King. She got her first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca mocktail on March the 12th, but is still suffering from intense pain from the rash. Okay, so we talked about the Kovacs, and I think I think apparently this is UK, the Oxford AstraZeneca manufacturer there. So this is a 41-year-old Scottish woman who received the CV-19 that broke out into a severe rash that left her in agony more than 2 weeks after her fateful jab, according to a report. Lee King of Wishaw in North Lanarkshire got her first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca mocktail on March 12th, but is still suffering from intense pain from the rash, which covers her face, chest, arms. The Wishaw press reports. Quote, "My skin was so sore and constantly hot. I have never felt pain like this. It has been a horrible experience," end quote, said the hairdresser, the mother of a 13-year-old autistic boy named Aiden. Quote, "I'm a very healthy person and I'm not and am not on any medication or anything like that. I'm not even in a vulnerable category," end quote. King told a news outlet, quote, "I only got almost said the mocktail as I am an unpaid carer for my son who has autism and mobility issues." She added, quote, "I haven't even been able to care for him since I got the mocktail as I am in such pain," end quote. King said she began to feel the alarming reaction almost immediately after receiving the shot at the Ravenscraig Super Center. Quote, "It was a horrible feeling. Never in my life was I prepared for what I was about to experience," end quote. She said, quote, "To say it's been the worst time of my life is an absolute understatement." So it looks like we've got some imagery here. So you can see the rash here. Image 1. Let's see if it's going to go to a second one here. Okay, so yeah, this is intense. This is very similar to to the Richmond man. You can see this is legs, extremities here, thighs, and more. And the next one. Okay, so there you go. So there you go. That looks like, for the lack of a better word, foals, and more more of a rash there. So there you go. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do audio issues. If you guys are having audio issues, can you give me a one? Ronnie Man, are you having audio issues right now? You can give me a one and I will uh, see what's going on there. Okay. Let me read a couple of comments here. I'm going to put this one in for you. So you can see this is kind of around the globe, the Kovacs portfolio is they're getting consistent responses, I guess, to say the least. Reactions rather. Okay. All right. And let's see, is anybody over on Twitch? Okay. All right. So let me read a couple comments here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right. Alien Believer says, my worry is that people are not going to do nothing when the people like myself refuse to take it and they start using media propaganda against us all, talking about education camps here. Yikes. Awesome Alice says they also coming up with immunity pass for people that have allergies and can't take the. Ooh, do you have any more info on that? Awesome Alice, that would be great. I mean, that'd be great if you had some extra info on that. Alien Believers also says, and already all media is propaganda for the government criminals. Awesome Alice says the photos are all on the Google. Ronnie Man says your skin might fall off, but the mocktail is safe. Yeah. Are you digging that? The logic there? Okay. And Awesome Alice says, Ronnie, good old oxymoron, I guess. And let's see. Is anybody else out there having audio issues? If you are, let me know. Anybody else out there is having audio issues? And I'm not sure. Maybe it's over on, if you're on Twitch, I'm not sure. Okay, and Awesome Alice says that's the same reaction I had to the flu jab. Interesting. And Awesome Alice says, yeah, it looks painful. Okay, so you guys, I went ahead and I brought it up anyway. Because I was gonna do that particular story like a couple of nights ago, and I didn't get around to doing it. But nevertheless, we're gonna go to a couple of infomercials and I'll be right back. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. Alright guys, I want to thank you guys as always for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And Ronnie Man is still here. Thank you so much, Ronnie Man, for tuning in. And I want to say this, what I want to say is that for those of you that have been hanging in there with us and that you are over, or you came over from Periscope, thank you guys so much for coming over. Like I said before, I know it can be a bit cumbersome to have to make those kinds of adjustments. Because maybe you started over on Periscope and you didn't anticipate you were going to have to, change the channel in order to stay on the channel. But I appreciate you guys for hanging in there with us, and yeah, it makes a difference. And of course, I'm always happy to have you guys here on Black Spring with Autumn. And yeah, so I'll just give just a really quick recap. So on this night queue, we had a look at an interview with Dr. Lena Wynn, who is the former CEO, former head of Planned Parenthood. She basically let you know that the carrot was, reopening and resuming a normal life. And without that carrot, they don't have an incentive for people to take the mocktail. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to watch this in a replay, or I will be happy to put that link in the actual stream for you. I may not be able to do it right this second. Looks like I'm slightly laggy right now. I'm really laggy right now. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this night Q segment. And like I said, we talked about a little bit, I'm not a psychologist by any stretch, but I think that you have to do a bit of a number on people in order to get them to do certain things. So I found it, ironic that, these people have DR behind their name, or MD behind their names, yet they're able to get people to do, just about anything, even if it's not in their best interest. And I find that, the fact that this woman was a CEO or a head of Planned Parenthood, I find that I think she'll do just about anything um, to achieve her agenda or to carry it out. So, but what do I expect from CNN or the likes of Chris Cuomo? What do I expect from them? But who knows? Maybe it's not going to be as easy as they think. Maybe they're already reaching some level of resistance that they didn't anticipate. But another thing that stood out was that she quoted that they needed to tie reopening policy to the mocktail, and that the window on that is closing. So at the very end, she talks about her main concern was herd immunity. So I mean, yeah, there you go. That's what her main concern is. After all of that, after that carrot, you know, we want to achieve herd immunity. That's what we want. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want to go through and say hello or salute and good night to everybody, or good morning, because if you're on the East Coast right now, I guess you are going into the 1 a.m. hour. So you're already on your Saturday. You're on your Saturday morning. So thank you guys so much for spending some time here with Black Spring with Autumn. Do I have a new comment? Very chilling rhetoric, Ronnie Man. I don't know, Ronnie Man. It sounds like you've got some. Have you got some words for us? You've got some words of wisdom for us. Of course, you always do. I'm gonna say hello to everybody, and good morning, good night, and thank you so much for tuning in. Lynn Pila, thank you so much for coming in. And the Information Man Show. Thank you so much, Information Man Show, for coming over. I really appreciate you for taking time to come over to Black Spring on the Night Q. And Ronnie Man, thanks so much for all that you do. And Brett's Worship Channel. It's been a while, Brett. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope things are going well for you. And J Dog One Party RE. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Spoon Chopstick. Thank you so much for coming in. And also, of course, Awesome Alice. Awesome Alice, thank you so much for tuning in. And Awesome Alice says, Yeah, they see states are opening and they haven't gotten the jab fully rolled out. Another way to tell us lower class what to do. Well, I think if I'm thinking that the the current regime, they kind of raised their goal to 200 million jabs. I do know that a couple of weeks ago, at least, that Cuomo came out saying that New York, generally, I think they had a quota of like 15 million. That was the desired number, and they only had 2 million people that had gotten the jab. So looking a little bit, they're looking a little frustrated, and I dare I say desperate. So who knows? Well, who knows? But as always, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I don't know, Ronnie Man is out there. I'm curious. I'm going to put this link out here just for a few minutes. I'll give you your usual 3 to 5 allotment, and yeah, I'll put the link out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right. That's so funny. Ronnie Man says, I do, lol. Plenty of words of wisdom concerning this topic, but I'm stealing a BSWA fix while I'm on the clock. Shrewd, Ronnie Man. Shrewd, 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 shrewd. Thank you for spending your spending some distraction time with us here on Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. And Austin Alice says they got the digital passport also. Interesting, interesting. So yes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a couple of more infomercials. And I want to thank everybody who has been supportive of us on the Twitch campaign. I will tell you the Twitch campaign will continue, as well as we will continue to have the questions on. We'll continue to have the questions available to you guys over on the community tab, so you'll be able to catch those questions. And of course, you can email me, or you can always just send. Of course, you can just go ahead and submit it on the tab if you like. Whatever, I guess I should say whatever works. Because it's nice to hear from you guys. I mean, I do a lot of talking here, but it's nice to hear directly to get the responses directly from you guys. And when you have the time or the space to do that, I think you can give you have a more leverage to give an answer, more time to think about it, so to speak. And also Malice has a comment, said that's in New York. Yeah, New York, they seem to always be in their minds, in the progressives and liberals' minds. I think they genuinely think that they are on the cutting edge, and that they are, they direct. It seems they kind of have a little bit of arrogance that I think they kind of lead direct our fate, almost like celebs. Like they want to be the first ones to do something so progressive that it's, to me, regressive. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. I do know that I'm seeing a lot more of a federalist approach. I think the states here again is going to be similar to, I think, the mask mandates. I think the states are going to regulate, and I think they're going to direct their own traffic when it comes to these passports, et cetera, et cetera. We'll see. But yeah, we're already seeing people taking a line on that already. So that's a win. I think it would be a win for the red states predominantly. It's going to be a red state win. Not sure. Yeah. Otherwise, you get the New York and California. What I'm almost calling, assimilation, or you know, I think people, I don't think they even change their beliefs, so to speak, to comply. I just think they just kind of comply. They don't question anything. They just go with it. And Awesome Alice says, yeah, Agenda 21, it's about the digital currency. Thank you so much for sharing that, Awesome Alice. I really appreciate it. So, yes, I have put the link out in the stream, and I do want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And if you haven't had a chance to hit that like or unlike button, it would be greatly appreciated to help us out with the AI and just with the dissemination of the stream. Um, and yes, we do have great content creators here at all times. So even though we're not a growth stream, I do encourage you guys to, check each other out. We're available if you want. You never know. Maybe you run into a kindred spirit, or who knows? Who knows? And thank you so much, Ronnie Man, for all that you do. And Awesome Alice, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, we're coming in just under 60 minutes on this Friday night / Saturday morning Nightque. I really appreciate it. So, as always, I look forward to seeing you guys around. I'm not sure about tomorrow on in terms of a stream, but we'll see. Who knows? There's things that are going on. Like, not the news cycle is so quick. You can't. You just never know. I mean, you'd never come off. You're never done reporting. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and say salud and good night and good morning to everyone for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream, in the comment section, on video, a moonlight stream, or a Nightque. All right, guys, have a great morning and a great night.